Hey everybody, Frank here, Godzilla Island, with a little comic book review of Hiroshi Kanatani's Kaiju Cooking. He is the creator of Cowrus, Kaiju of the Wind. He's also done some work on Spectrum and Heroes. I love his artwork. He always does a really great job. So this is one of his original stories here, Kaiju Cooking. This is a one-shot put out by Antarctic Press. Always love Antarctic Press's stuff here. Really cool comic book. We have the standard cover here, and in the back we have a Japanese manga style cover. And a little public service announcement here is this kind of does read like a manga, not that you go back to front, but you read it right to left as opposed to left to right like you would a standard comic or American comic book. Like I said, Hiroshi Kanatani does the story and art. The translation was done by Doug Dillon, and front cover coloring was done by David Hutchinson, and the logo for the English version was done by Brian Denham. Really cool. This is a black and white comic, so it's a little another thing that makes it more manga-esque. The comic follows our main character here, Haruka, who has just opened a diner, and then a massive kaiju attack happens, and Ultraborg here, our Ultraman-esque hero, shows up to fight the kaiju Cowrus, and he quickly defeats the kaiju, takes off, and leaves the carcass in front of Haruka's brand new diner. So let's take a look at some of that action here. So here you have Haruka. She's all proud. We have these construction workers all excited that there's a new place opening up nearby. And then we have some rumbles. Cowrus appears. And then she's like, oh no, a kaiju. And then boom, we have Ultraborg appear. I just really love this shot of Cowrus right here. It looks really vicious. Cool design. And the fight is literally seconds. I mean, Ultraborg just literally blasts him. It's not even a fight. He just shows up, shoots him, leaves the carcass here. And she's like, "You're leaving this behind? Like, come on, what are you gonna do?" He's like, why do I have to have this die on my property now?" So then she calls up the town, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't make any promises when we'll get there." And then these 3 reporters show up. And they start taking pictures of it. And she's like, "Wait a minute, this is my property." She's like, "If you guys want to get some pictures and your awesome kaiju story for your newspaper, you're going to have to work for me." So she's like, "You're going to have to cook." So she makes them all throw on aprons. They agree to it because they want to get their story and get the exclusive scoop and the awesome camera angles. She hires this martial artist expert over here to start cutting up chunks of the meat. And he just cuts them up to these cubes. He's just like your typical manga anime ninja guy. He comes up, just is chopping up cubes of Cowrus here and laying them all out. And she basically has these reporters, photographers cleaning the meat, prepping the meat, and she just preps it in all these pans, and she treats it like a beef dish that she's making. And what's crazy is they serve it up and it ends up being a hit, and they actually put the recipe here. Now I'm guessing instead of, as you can see here, instead of using the Cowrus meat, you could do beef, but this is an actual recipe here. It gives you all the measurements. I have not tried to make this yet, but I am pretty sure you can make it. It actually sounds very good. It's a beef dish over some rice. It sounds delicious. I just thought it was hysterical that he put this whole sequence of them making it with the recipe in it. So the food ends up being a hit. The nearby construction crew comes over for the Kaiju Bowl special and the beers, and she's just cranking out these dishes and rolling in the cash. And she decides to call the restaurant Monster Meals. And yeah, it's a pretty fun comic. He throws a little bonus page there at the end. And they end up redoing the name and making it Giant Monster Meals in this little bonus page. Really fun story. cute little gaggy comedy comic. Definitely worth picking up. It's a nice little indie thing, indie kaiju story to have in your collection. I always like it. Like I said, I always like what Antarctic Press has put out. They have the Co-Raptor Kaiju, the Wind series that's done 5 issues, the Spectrum Man Heroes all as well, which they did a Kickstarter for. I believe there should be a Co-Raptor trade paperback Kickstarter campaign coming anytime soon. I had reached out to them earlier in the year and inquiring about it, and they did say it was coming. I thought it was going to be coming in the summer, but that has not happened yet. But keep an eye out. I'll let you guys know for sure. Antarctic Press is always putting out Toku-themed comic books and kaiju stuff. So they're a nice little company that's always there to keep an eye out on. They're not necessarily a big comic company, but they've been around for years, you know. You can't sleep on them. They're a great comic company, and they've put out some solid stories for us. And we got to thank them for that. I mean, you know, we are in a kaiju revolution right now, as Frankie B. Washington of Kaijus and Cowboys always says, and we got to keep it going. So support this comic. Give Hiroshi Kanatani a follow for sure. And you can follow Antarctic Press online. And they have a Facebook page as well, which is great to follow because they're always sharing their projects. They have a lot of different stuff too. It's not necessarily a ton of Toku themed stuff, but it's just a good page to follow to have a little inside scoop on when things are coming out. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed.